best center build in the game. Can finish strong around the rim with aggressive dunks, can shut down passing lanes by getting every lane steal, can out-jump every player on the court to snag every rebound, can throw pinpoint passes to make scoring on the break easy, not only has an elite mid-range game, but when it comes to shooting behind the arc, this build doesn't miss. What's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy Swag back at it again with another bang. And I got a long awaited video for y'all, man. HOFF'S official black market center build. In my opinion, the best center build in the game. I mean, y'all have watched HOFF in action on my stream or maybe even on his stream. Y'all go follow HOFF, by the way, on Twitch and TikTok. Both of his links will be in the description. Big shout out to HOFF. But HOFF is literally the best player on the team right now. He barely misses and just does everything you need your center to do. And not only that, but he's top 5 ranked in the 5v5 proving grounds right now. So he definitely knows what he's doing. I'm going to give y'all his build, his jump shot, his SIGS, what's the best way to utilize your badge perks, everything you need. Now, don't forget to hit that sub button, hit that like button, and turn noties on because more content and more videos are on the way. Now, let's get straight to the build. So starting with the build, when labbing with HOFF, we looked at the 6'11s and the 7'1s, but the 7-footers just was the best height for having the perfect mix and balance of everything that we would need. Now for weight, you want to be mobile as a center, being able to swing down to the paint from a rotation or rolling to the basket on a pick and roll. So we're going with 246 pounds. This, as you can see, gives us that 70 speed, which we definitely want. Now for wingspan, you can have 2 options here. You can either go max wingspan at 7'8", which will obviously be the most beneficial for defense and rebounding, or you can go 1 under max wingspan at 7'7", which is what we ended up doing. And this will give you the ability to get a 75 plus 3-point rating, which we do need to meet a certain threshold, which I'll talk about and break down further in the video. And also the reason we didn't go lighter than 246 in weight to be even faster is because we wanted that 91 strength as well for badges. So being 246 gives us that 70 speed as well as that 91 strength. Starting with the finishing, after playing this game for almost 3 weeks now, HOFF and other centers as well have concluded that 90 standing dunk isn't needed or even worth it this year. With the jab step being patched this year and meter dunks in general not being as good as they were, going 81 for that silver rise up and also the pro standing contact dunks is more than enough to finish strong and consistently around the rim. Now, if you're playing as an inside center and you want to catch the ball in the paint and just be like Shaq with throwing people out the way and dunking on 3 people, then yeah, 81 might be too low for that playstyle. But for a shooting center who still wants to effectively rise up after getting a no board or on a backdoor cut, having that 81 rating saves you a lot of attributes while still allowing you to finish consistently in the paint. Now for driving dunk, we're going to raise this to a 73. Not only does that unlock bronze posterizer, which helps with dunking through traffic, but also 73 in specific unlocks that Giannis dunk package, which is really nice. Now there's not a lot of times you'll be utilizing driving dunk on a center, but in situations like a late closeout, so you like dribble past your defender or maybe even pick and roll and they pass it a little early, having a decently high driving dunk on a center can be really effective. Moving on to shooting, we're going to max out our 3 to a 76. And this goes back to why we went with 1 tick under max wingspan, because max wingspan would have only gotten us a 74 3 and we needed at least a 75 3 to unlock the takeovers we want. As you can see, any takeovers that boost your 3-pointer, like Glass Gunner for example, you need at least that 75 rating in order to get it. Now for mid-range, one might think only going 78 to get that silver set shot specialist is the sweet spot, but we have to remember that certain jump shots, especially the better ones, do require the higher ratings. So even though only going 78 does unlock the set shot specialist and we don't unlock any other badges going higher than 78, we're still going to go with an 80 rating to be able to use those elite big man jump shots. And for those of y'all who want HOFF'S exact jump shot that he uses, here it is on the screen right now, and as you can see, it does require that 80 rating. And because this build is used in 5v5, we're going to go with an 82 free throw to be knocked down at the line. But going back to the 3-point shooting, if you guys have watched any of the live streams when Black Market has played Pro-Am, you will know that I'm not joking when I say that HOFF is literally the best shooter on the team. As you guys know, a lot of people have been complaining about the shooting and how it's inconsistent and they need to buff it. But Hoff has been chicken the whole time I've played with him, and believe it or not, he's still shooting with the button. Maybe in the future he makes the switch to rhythm shooting, but as of now, he still uses X and is one of the best shooters I've seen on this game. And he's doing this with only a mid-70s 3-point rating and silver badges. As you can see in the clips, man, whether it's open catch and shoots in the corner or pick and pops at the hash or top of the key, he's greening the shot 9 out of 10 times. And with his jump shot, like I've shown before, you guys can be doing the same exact thing. Moving on to playmaking, it's nothing crazy here. We're just going to go with the 93 pass accuracy. Now at 92, we get Hall of Fame Dimer, which is really nice for giving a boost to your teammate's jump shot off your pass. And at 93 in specific, we get that Hall of Fame break starter, which is, in my opinion, a must with how crazy lane steals are in this game. Now you want to be able to throw fast pinpoint passes on the break to allow your teammates to easily score. Because believe me, if there's someone in the lane and the pass isn't fast and precise, it is getting stolen. Moving on to defense, we're going to go with a 67 steal. Now I know you unlock bronze interceptor at 60, but 67 gets us bronze pickpocket. Now I know you're not really going to be getting on-ball pluck steals on the point guard with this build, but blitz steals, this badge does pop up, and I believe it does help with not getting called for fouls as much on reaches when you do attempt to blitz. Now for perimeter, we know perimeter is pretty bad this year. If you're not right in their space when they shoot, you're not going to get a contest. However, going 62 when we as well as raising our strength does give us immovable on bronze. So instances where they try to rim run on you, this badge will activate and you'll get better bumps in stopping their momentum to the basket. But going back to the steal, man, as you can see in the clips, lane steals are super good this year. So even with only bronze interceptor, you can hawk a lot of lanes and make it hard for the PG to pass the ball. Whether it's baiting, dropping to the paint and actually stealing the pass of the corner, or pretending to guard the corner and then stealing the hash pass, you can cover a lot of ground on this build with the lane steals. Moving on to block, instead of going just 78 for bronze anchor and silver chase down like our previous version, we're actually going to raise our block to an 84 to get that silver paint patroller. Now originally, I believe centers, especially prime centers, didn't need that high interior because it wasn't really needed in 2K24. But in this 2K, man, interior rating is actually super important for determining how much of a contest you'll get in the paint. So 82 gets us that silver post move lockdown, which you won't see a lot of post scores, but having the badge is nice. We're actually going to go with an 85 interior defense for that gold off-ball pest, which does help a lot for stopping your opponent on backdoor cuts and getting more bumps on off-ball dexes and movements. As you can see in the clips, man, this build can get snatch blocks, chase downs, and just shut down the paint and be a rim protector that you will need. Moving on to rebounding, and no, I didn't forget about cap breakers or the badge perk. We're going to go with the 91 O board and a 90 D board. Now, at first look, going 91 might seem like a horrible and weird decision because you need a 92 rating in order to get gold rebound chaser, but this is where cap breakers come in. For those of y'all who don't know, you get 5 cap breakers at starter 3 in which you can use to raise your ratings. So by going 91 and adding all 5 cap breakers to offensive rebound, that 91 turns into 96, which does unlock Hall of Fame rebound chaser. And if you do reach level 30 of the season 1 pass, which I'm assuming by now a lot of you guys already have, you'll unlock the tier 1 max badge perk, which would allow you to turn that Hall of Fame rebound chaser to legend rebound chaser. And when I tell you this build is a horse, this build snags every rebound. Now this was something I was lacking on my community day builds because I didn't know how soon we would get cap breakers, but seeing how starter 3 isn't that high of a rep and a lot of people already have their cap breakers, I figured out how to best utilize them with this build. So a build that originally only had silver rebound chaser, now with cap breakers and badge perk has it on legend. And the reason we do 96 O board instead of 96 D board is because offensive rebounds are usually harder to get because you're usually not in position to get them like how you are with D boards. So those extra rating towards O board will help in getting those crazy animations where you jump over your opponent and fly across the air to snag the rebound. Also, this method of only going 91 and using cap breakers allows us to save attributes and in turn have more balanced rebounding, with both offensive and defensive rebounding being in the 90s rather than offensive rebound being in the high 90s and D board being in the low 80s if we didn't use the cap breakers. Moving on to physicals, we're gonna max out our speed to a 70 to be the fastest that we can be. And for agility, I originally thought that centers didn't need agility at all since they'll never really be guarding a ball handler, but you actually need agility for being able to move at all defensively, especially in game modes like Pro-Am where you're guarding the corner and baiting the PG by going to the paint and then back to the corner in those short bursts. The higher the agility, the faster you'll be able to move. So I definitely recommend putting up agility on center builds. Now for strength, we're going to go with a 91. 89 does give us that Hall of Fame box out beast. And even though it doesn't show it now, remember that with cap breakers, we'll have a 96 D board, and 91 in specific gives us that gold brick wall, which obviously useful for setting screens. And last but not least, the 83 vertical, which again, at first glance, doesn't look like we need it for anything. But if you look at the requirements for Hall of Fame BOGO stick, you'll see that we need an 83 vertical as well as 96 rebounding. And seeing as we will have the 96 rebounding with cap breakers, going 83 vert will give us that Hall of Fame BOGO stick. And that concludes the build, man, utilizing the 5 cap breakers, like I said, on O board to get it to 96, and then the badge perk to get it to legend. We have the high shooting, Hall of Fame break starter, and elite paint defense. And as we load out, man, we get the name Playmaking Defensive Anchor. Now I want you guys to know this. This is a build that I made 100% by myself, and I talked with Hoff about it afterwards, and I sent him the build, and he said it looks really good and he might make it for himself. But if you guys want Hoff's exact build, the one he personally plays on before he saw my version, this is it right here on the screen. Now there are some similarities, but there are also some major differences as well. Those differences are like him having 84 close shot to get that silver paint prodigy as opposed to the 75 on our version, only 73 free throw as opposed to our 82, way less interior, having no post move lockdown at all as opposed to our silver, and only bronze off ball pass as opposed to our gold. We had the same idea with going 91 O board and then using our cap breakers to get the 96. His version is a little slower, and then for some reason he went with 93 strength, which doesn't unlock any threshold for badges or anything, which is kind of confusing. And with Hoff's version, you get the name Inside the Arc Maestro. So I wanted to clarify that for you guys. So if you guys load up to the streams and you see that Hoff's build name isn't the defensive playmaking anchor and you guys are kind of confused as why the builds are different, because I made a version in which I think is even better, but you guys can decide for yourself which version you like more. Hoff's version, which has a little bit more close shot, or my version with more defense and speed. You guys let me know in the comments. Now, if you're someone who doesn't want to have to compromise the defense for the finishing or the finishing for the defense, I got y'all with this 7-1 popper version that obviously, because it's taller, does take a small hit with the physicals not being as high, but in turn you gain an extra inch in height, an extra inch in wingspan. You keep basically the same exact defense I had on my version, just with a little less interior, while keeping the same finishing Hoff had with his 84 close shot. You also get 95 pass sack on this version, which gives you that gold visionary, as opposed to the 93 passing the 7-footers had. You also get a little bit higher mid-range, you get higher free throw. So if you guys want a best of both worlds type of build, just by taking a little bit hit on the speed and the agility and even the vertical, the 7-1 looks like a really good option as well. Now that concludes the best shooting center builds in the game, in my opinion. Like I said, my version and Hoff's version. Now for all my people who love to play on insides and, like I mentioned before, just dominate the paint with dunking on 3 people and just being Shaq-like, I got y'all with the best inside center build as well. But if you've enjoyed the video and build so far, don't forget to hit that sub button, hit that like button, and turn noties on to not miss out on any videos or any streams. But enough talk, man, let's get straight to the best inside center build. Starting with the build, I do think that 7-footers can still be really good as inside centers, but there's like a glitch in the wingspan of the 7-1s that make it so that it makes sense to go 7-1. And by glitch, I mean that the wingspan is supposed to go up by only 1 inch for every inch in height, but at 7-1, it goes up 2 inches and we can have a max wingspan of 7'10". Now it might not seem like a big deal, but that's a big advantage when it comes to getting boards and blocks and things like that. Now for weight, I did look at a version with 95 strength for Hall of Fame brick wall, but it was so expensive and I don't think it was worth it. So we're actually going with 251 pounds, which is the lightest we can be, so we can be the fastest possible while still keeping that 91 strength for that gold brick wall. Starting with finishing, we're going to go with 84 close shot for that silver paint prodigy, 73 driving dunk for that bronze posterizer, as well as dunk packages like Giannis. And now for standing, I know it might seem weird, but we're going to go with a 92. The plan with this is to add 3 of our 5 cap breakers to standing dunk to get it to 95 to unlock Hall of Fame rise up. And we'll also be adding an 87 post control for gold post badges to accompany the 95 standing dunk. Now, although only 90 standing and gold rise up might not be as good this year as it was last year, which is why on our shooting center build, we only went with 81. But for an inside center who's meant to dominate the paint, I've seen clips of players with 95 going absolutely crazy. Shout out to Westav, by the way. I got these clips from his Twitter. But yeah, man, I really think to be effective on an inside center and to be a threat, you not only need that Hall of Fame rise up, but that post game to accompany it as well. Moving on to shooting, although this is an inside center, we want to be able to knock down free throws because the only way they can stop us in the paint is going to be the foul. But if we can somewhat be consistent at the line, the opposing team will not know what to do. Moving on to playmaking, it's going to be the same as other center builds, 93 pass accuracy for that Hall of Fame break starter. We want to be able to throw pinpoint passes, and 93 is more than enough to do so. Moving on to defense, we're going to go with a 60 steal for that bronze interceptor. Now, being 7'1", you're not able to get the glove badge, so I saved some attributes and just went with right at 60 for steal. But even with only that 60 rating, having a 7'10" wingspan, you'll definitely still be able to get a lot of lane steals. For perimeter, we're going to go with a 62 for that bronze immovable enforcer, which will help in stopping your opponent from rim running. For block, we're going to go similar to the popper version with an 84 block for that silver paint patroller and silver chase down, as well as an 82 interior for that silver post move lockdown. Now, being 7'1" with a max 7'10" wingspan with these ratings, you will be an elite paint protector and players will think twice before trying to attack the basket. Moving on to rebounding, we're going to go with an 85 D board, and with O board, we're going to follow a similar format by keeping cap breakers in mind, but we have to remember that we don't have all 5 cap breakers anymore. Remember that we did plan on using 3 of our 5 cap breakers on the standing dunk to get that to a 95, which means that if we want Hall of Fame rebound chaser and then legend with the badge perk, we need to raise our O board to a 94. Because we have 2 cap breakers left after using 3 to raise our standing dunk to a 95, we'll be able to add our last 2 cap breakers to O board to raise it to 96, which does unlock Hall of Fame rebound chaser. And then, like I said before, with the tier 1 max +1 badge perk from hitting level 30 of the season, we'll be able to turn that Hall of Fame rebound chaser into legend rebound chaser. I can only imagine a 7'1" with the glitch 7'10" wingspan with legend rebound chaser. Man, if you thought the 7-footer was grabbing crazy boards, the 7'1" would be even crazier. Moving on to physicals, like we said earlier, compared to the 7-footers, you do take a hit here with only having 63 speed and 46 agility. But we go 91 strength for that Hall of Fame box out beast and gold brick wall. Again, I did look at a version that had 95 strength for that Hall of Fame brick wall, but it made you even slower and you lost a lot of attributes elsewhere, so I didn't think it was worth it. And for vertical, we keep it at a 77, which gives us that gold pogo, and that is the build. So adding 3 cap breakers to standing, we'll have 95 for Hall of Fame rise up, as well as the gold post badges with that 87 post control. We still have decent free throw rating at 69, which will help us be somewhat consistent when the opposing team tries to hack us. We have elite passing with the Hall of Fame break starter, elite paint defense with the silver anchor and high interior, adding the last 2 of our 5 cap breakers to the 94 O board to get it to 96 for Hall of Fame rebound chaser, and then 91 strength for that brick wall. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about this inside center build. But as we load out, man, we get the same name in playmaking defensive anchor. But those are the build, man, and that is the video. If you guys enjoyed or liked any of the builds, don't forget to hit that sub button, hit that like button, and turn on notice because more is on the way. And if you guys want to see Hoff in action with his shooting center, check out this video on the screen. It was Black Market's first Pro-Am game of 2K25. But until next time, man, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. God bless. Peace.